You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the January 12th meeting for the Kingsford Heights Town Council. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
So we can all please stand and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I'll start with roll call. Joe Atkinson.
Here.
Dwayne Art.
Here.
Rosalie Jacobs.
Here.
Evelyn Ballinger. Here. Lori Enox. Here. All present. There is a quorum. I'll start just with an election of officers. Do I hear a nomination for president?
I make a motion to make Laura Rosalie to be our next president of the year.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Yep.
And the vote on it? All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor, none opposed. I'll
I do have
let
to
Madam
abstain,
President.
right?
Yes, you can abstain.
Okay.
But I'll let you take over for
All right.
now, since you've now reelected.
Okay. So now we're open for nominations for Town Council Vice President for 2026.
I nominate Lori Enox.
Will you accept?
Yes.
Is there a second? Is there any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll go for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And are you abstaining?
Yeah.
4-0 with Lori abstaining. Okay, I ask that you silence your cell phones, please. Departmental reports, please.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Just to give you guys an update as we close out December of 2025, going through and tidying things up for the year, making sure that our year-end requirements are all being met and looking ahead to next year. Some of the things that I've come across are our employee handbook. Depending on who we talk to, there's 3 or 4 different versions out there with different dates, and some of them have different verbiage. I'm asking council's permission to kind of look into updating some of that on behalf of the police department. In the area of like job description, there's not a specific job description for chief deputy marshal or for deputy marshal. There's also nothing listed as how we're supposed to handle any overages that we would work in a 40-hour pay period. So if we worked over like the other night and I had an OWI and had to work over several hours, and then she had training scheduled for the next day, so she couldn't mark that off. So that overage kind of got carried into the next pay period. We're kind of looking for some options and some guidance to how we should be handling that to best suit the needs of town and your wishes. So those are some things I'm exploring. Talking to the town of Westville, town of Long Beach, Trail Creek, to kind of see how they handle those situations so that when I come to you, I can say, hey, this was the problem. Here are some possible solutions. What are your thoughts?
So Anna's position is overtime or salary overtime exempt?
To my understanding, yes.
And you are
Also.
also?
Yep.
Okay.
That's, we're also looking to update some of the policies. So the state of Indiana, I'm finding some mixed information on policies. The best course of practice that I'm finding is that we review those at least annually and we update those as needed. The Indiana Law Enforcement Academy has changed a lot of the ways they do business in the past. they are requiring that all departments have similar policies in certain areas. And because of that update, it takes some of the policies that we've had on file for years and basically makes those obsolete. So it's a very time-consuming process, as Amber's aware, but I am making my way through that. As ordinance issues come up and get brought to our attention, we're searching through trying to find the most accurate and current ordinance that meets the problem that we're encountering. Some of the things that we're running into is some of the ordinances end on one page, and then the next page, which is the signature page that would talk about when it's placed into effect, and the signature for it are missing. Some of the ones I'm finding, the pages are there, but there are no signatures, nothing's filled out. So at some point, what I want to do is get what I believe are the most current and up-to-date ordinances we have and get those sent to you guys so that you can review them. And that way, if there's nothing that's more current, we can go off of those. But again, there's probably 8 binders, 2 boxes, and several stacks of ordinances laying around that I'm working through.
Are you going through the ones that are in the conference room?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
There's a few of them in there.
Yeah, there's a few of them in there. There's been some people over the years that have put some of the ordinances in like a little file folder and shoved them in a filing cabinet. And as I clean certain areas and go through to see what we have and what we need, I'm finding more and more copies. And as I do, I'm trying to catalog them so that I can go back and review them all as needed.
Okay, right now, it's my understanding that the handbook is everybody commingled. There's not a section for the utilities and a section for the police department and maybe even a section for the office. I don't know. But I feel that it needs to be separate sections, and the police have their own section because it's governed by different laws, and then the utilities to have their section, and then work with Malika because the council can set some policies and then she can set, or the council can set some policies, but then she can administer them. So
Absolutely.
I think it needs to be done into sections.
I'd be more than happy to work on that on my end, and again, kind of building from that model with comparative local towns and
Are you
communities. to
talking
kind of-
separate?
Well, they could be in one book, but just have one segment for town marshal, one segment for utilities.
Yeah.
And I know, and then we have another book that's code of conduct for a town council. And I don't know what year that was adopted either.
Okay. Going forward, I'll continue to work on those things unless I hear something differently. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Thank you.
Fire department? No. Utilities, Randy,
I have nothing anymore.
okay. Crystal,
Hi, I'm feeling
Hi.
a lot better this time. We are excited that we're gonna have open gym on Tuesday night for basketball. We have some kids in the neighborhood that actually wanna come up from 5 to 7 and play basketball in a gym. So that's like another thing for our community. And then we were looking at LaPorte Parks and Rec. They are doing a kind of cabin fever bounce house event where you have bounce houses here in the gym and kids can come and let off steam. And we were thinking that would be a really good opportunity for our kids to kind of get out of the house, shake some dust off, kind of have some fun in the gym. And we were hoping that it would be like on a Saturday family event. So it will be 2 bounce houses and then 2 games that are like bounce house, but like basketball or bullseye kind of throwing games. So parents will be able to come too. And it would be a 4-hour event. Of course, the event would be where we'd have to pay for the bounce houses originally. But then the hope is to be able to sell chips and water to be able to recoup some of that. Now, I know that we can do things 2 ways. So as parks, we like to have things that are free to the community. And then after you come, then if you want to buy something, like you want to buy the chips or you want to buy the water, then that's an opportunity. But if you just didn't have the money, we didn't want you to be excluded. But of course, as a council, I mean, I'll defer to your judgment as far as how you would rather us do that. So we could have the event and charge every child a certain amount to come into the event, and that would be one way to recoup our funds. But I don't know, it's like we have to decide, like we know where we as a park board would like to go, but we have to go based on, like I don't know any fundraiser, even if you did it as a fundraiser. There's no way we could have a fundraiser without front loading the expense of getting the bounce house. So it would be $500 is for it's 2 bounce house jumping things and 2 bounce house games. The other $100 is for snow cones. That $100 for the snow cones is hopefully going to be reimbursed by the Legion. This is something they wanted to do for the kids that came. They wanted to purchase the snow cones. So it's a $100 charge for that. So they don't meet until first part of February. So it may only be $400 for us to actually, but that's where we would be
What do
looking
you have in your
at.
budget? Does anybody know what's in the budget for that parking?
Well, the budget, we'd have to look and see what we requested. It's not approved yet. But I think we had maybe 500 in promotions, I'm not sure.
We did. And then, but
But then you
then
also
we were
had-
trying to decide, like we had leftover from last year. That we had like $2,500. We spent almost 13 of it for the dinner, but that would still be 1,200 that was left. And this as a community center building, I don't know if you would want to consider that a community center event. It could come out of there as well. But we just want to, like, we really want to start having more events for our community. So with your permission to have it, we will broadcast it, we'll send it to the school. The school has a hard time, like, announcing things that cost money, you know? I mean, they can put it on the Facebook page that, you know, it's a free family event, there will be refreshments for purchase, but if we are just like, oh, okay, come to this and spend money, it's a little harder for them to advertise for us.
Could you talk to the PTA
Talk
at the school,
to them about,
doing,
Helping to sponsor
helping
maybe?
to sponsor something?
Maybe they'd want to do popcorn, although you'd have to clean
well,
it
so
all up.
that's what we were hoping, though. We were hoping those proceeds would go to the parks. Like, we were hoping to do popcorn and chips and water and as our part of our, like, fundraiser.
So we have a
Something
popcorn
like that.
popper?
Yes, we do, back
Oh.
there. We just have, we have to dust it off.
Like something like that.
I think we even have a snow cone maker.
The town would cover the cost, I mean, the park department should be able to cover the cost, because, like you're saying, when you start charging, then it kind of throws a wrench in the fan for the kids to even come up and mess around, and the whole ideal of it is just to be able to have
Something to do.
something to do.
I mean, that's the one thing that people are saying right now is that there's nothing to do out here. There's nothing to do out here. So we really would like to try to have something to do once a month.
I think you're safe saying donations accepted and not putting a fee on it.
Okay, right. We can do that. Everything we do,
But-
we usually, yeah.
I think somebody needs to check with Debbie Blake and make sure that
Just
that's
gonna say
a
that.
applicable activity without an extra premium.
Well, a lot of times I've seen insurance policy completely exclude any activities with bounce houses. So you just want to make sure that your insurance policy doesn't have any exclusions in it. That's the only thing you want to double check.
Okay.
Sorry.
So that's okay. So,
I'd rather know than have an accident happen and find
not
out
be covered.
afterwards.
yeah, okay.
It's a good idea.
So we would just kind of have to wait and maybe bring it back next week, like 2 weeks from now? Or would we, like, is that
Well,
something?
you're gonna have your meeting next week, right?
Mhm.
And find out from Debbie before then, and, yeah.
And then if so, it's okay?
We'll
We
come
can
back
start-
again and let us know
Come
it's
back
okay,
again.
but
Okay.
I don't see a problem if everything falls
Okay.
in line.
Great.
So you would be asking, Rosalie, you're saying something about having donations or getting somebody to sponsor it, but.
No, she's saying
that
have a
way, if they
bucket,
don't-
like if
they
people
don't cover
wanna
the cost,
just-
we can, the park department can still cover the cost.
Right, if someone wants to throw in a $5 bill or whatever to
Sure.
help offset the cost, the park department can have a donation bucket and
We have donation bucket. We have a big Lego head. Okay. And then the other thing is, I know you guys are going to talk about later is the funds, the whole fund, thing. but I hate to bring this up. I really hate to bring this up. But I feel like I can't write another work order because but the toilet in the women's bathroom is still not fixed. We turned the water off because if you turn it on, it will leak. And so we forgot that it was on, and an older lady actually used the restroom. We forgot it was
In
off.
here?
Yeah, in the handicap bathroom. And so when she used it, thankfully she came to me and said, "Oh, there's something wrong with the toilet." Well, the water was off because if it's on, it leaks. And so they've tried to fix it several times. They just have. And I really I'm thankful. But it's not fixed. Like, it literally needs a new toilet. And we have one. I don't know if it's tall enough to be handicap accessible, but we have to do something.
Is it in a box?
Yes.
The box might say.
You should say.
Yeah, it's in the back. But I mean, it's been,
It needs
like,
to
we
be
have
a seven-
two
Needs
toilets
to be
that
a
are.
17-inch toilet is what it needs to be.
Well, we have two that are here that were in the concession stand and they were never gonna get put in the concession stands. We brought them over, but they've just been trying to fix what's not being fixed. And it's not for lack of trying, it's just time to call it a done deal. So that's the only thing. So can we, if that is not handicap accessible, the question is, can we purchase a handicap accessible toilet and have utilities put it in? Do we need to have a plumber come?
We get the town to put it in. One of the workers would.
We'll purchase and put it in?
Yeah.
Okay. Great, that's it.
If we have one.
Okay, we have 3 sets of minutes to approve. December 8th, which was tabled for corrections. December 29th, and then January 7th, executive session. Have you had a chance to look at minutes, anybody? Okay,
Are we doing these separate?
yes, what is your pleasure?
Doesn't matter to me. I mean, if they're readable at all 3 times, we can pass them all 3 times. If everybody's
Are you
ready.
happy with all 3?
Yeah, I'm happy with all 3, yes.
Okay,
I make a motion that we pass the ordinance for
I mean, all 3 minutes?
all 3 minutes, yeah, for,
You know what, just one second. The one on the executive session, let me work with Malika. There needs to be something in a certification underneath here.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, for the
Bicycle.
executive session.
The one that says,
Bicycle.
Yeah, you just have to certify that no other discussions were had other than what it was chosen for. We
That's
just have to
right.
have that certification.
and she does have to have the IC code too.
Yeah.
All
The
right,
one that
so,
we,
all right, we'll just do the 2 meetings and not the executive
All right.
session.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes for December 8th of 2025 and December 29th of 2025.
Moved and seconded that we approve the minutes from the 2 regular meetings in December on the 8th and the 29th. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Okay, do we need a motion to table the executive
Please.
session?
I make a motion that we table the executive.
I'll second.
For a couple corrections? And Dwayne seconded it. We have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor of?
Aye.
aye.
Aye. That is also unanimous. Claims.
Let's start signing.
Okay, I questioned you about this. Claim number 17,104, which is the bond payment, should not be coming out of the water grant construction fund.
It has been changed.
Well, I don't think we should sign it until there's a corrected claim docket personally.
Which one was it?
17,104.
Bond payment.
And also, I noticed we have no interdepartmental claims this time for our own utility bills.
They're not on this claims report.
I see that.
They just came out on the 1st.
Okay, I think I'm used to seeing them on the first claim docket of the month.
No, they're not on.
Okay. Well, what fund did you change it to? 17,104.
Right now, I can't even tell you. My mind is just discombobulated, okay? So I'll let you know later on.
What is your pleasure, board?
Are we gonna make this correction on this 1704, or, I mean, what are we doing?
It needs corrected. I know that it's going to be paid anyway because it's also a loan payment that's required by a contract and an ordinance.
The
and that-
ACH payment.
Yeah,
So it's changed.
Yeah, as long as it's changed.
As long as
takes
it's
care of it.
changed.
It's already been changed.
All right.
And, proof on this. That's all. 'Cause it's-
so we need a motion to approve the claim docket, knowing one claim distribution or expense is going to be changed.
Correct. And the amount is
It's a big one.
121,000.
Oh,
Oh, no, last week's was bigger.
I was just talking about the one claim, 53,000.
Do we need to take that out of there?
148,148.68.
Yeah, and, yeah.
No, we're not taking that out.
All right.
She said the distribution's been
We're just making a
changed.
note from here that it's just, she's changing it so it
Right.
can match in the right account. Is that what it
You're
gets behind?
mumbling, what are you saying?
We're changing.
I know what you're saying, but I don't understand what he's saying.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead as long as she so she changes the right account it should be on, and she says got it done. So at this point, so we can see, I want to make sure we have the right amount and to give it okay, so otherwise we'll get behind again like we used to.
Well, it didn't change anything anyway, did it?
It's not gonna change the dollar
It's the
amount,
same
it's
amount,
just
so.
acknowledging that she's gotta change the distribution.
Did you make a motion on it?
I did.
For the 121? 48, 68.
5 or 6,
I'll
extra
second it.
small.
Is there a second?
I did it.
I thought you made the motion.
You did.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's been moved and seconded that we approve tonight's claim docket in the amount of $121,148.68 and pending the, or acknowledging that one claim, number 17,104, will have the the expense distribution corrected. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, aye. Now, here, you guys can go first. Okay, clerk's report.
Okay, I would like to apologize. I could not stand during the pledge allegiance because I fell right before I came here. So I'm in a lot of pain. So first thing on our list is our timesheets. I was looking at our timesheets, and we get our timesheets. Randy brings in the timesheets for the utilities department. He is the head of that department. We need the, when State Board of Accounts comes in, we also need the documented time card. And I also have to know who is signing Randy's timesheet.
Can he not sign his own
He
as
cannot sign his
supervisor?
own. No.
Well, how does that work?
Well, then his liaison is actually supposed, that's the person that's over him. So that would be the person that would sign.
It could be a council member.
I'm just Councilman.
Well, I'm just saying that
Okay.
it's not, it has to be signed. So,
Well, it would probably be me, because I
'Cause you
was
were-
getting them before we went the other way.
Okay. Are you around on Wednesdays when he gets it all collected?
Thursday morning.
Yeah,
Thursday morning?
he know where I live if you don't, because I'm not driving now, so just come by the house and bring it to me.
Okay. All right, I would say then, we need a time clock in the office because Laura is hourly and our police department is salaried but exempt
Or
on
they have to sign.
overtime. So they need to punch in and out when they come in. And Laura needs to punch in and out. We can't do it for one location and not the other. Do we have another time clock?
We do have another one. It's the same model that we're using now, so we have extra cards.
Okay,
And a few years back, I met with the State Board of Accounts in the conference room, and they said they didn't care about seeing the time cards. They only wanted the time sheet, so I quickly drafted one up, took it back up there to them. They looked it over and they accepted it and said, this is what we need. And they've been using that same form ever since.
well, I don't think they questioned it in the last audit, but
Do the timesheets have benefit time use? Because that's usually what they want documented.
Yes, it does. It has holiday, overtime, personal, and comp and vacation.
Just like a time card would?
Yeah, but it don't give the exact hours. like
it doesn't
day-to-day
say what
hours,
time
it
they
just
got here
gives
and what time they
total.
left.
I can tell you State Board of Accounts has given different opinions in the past, I've heard.
Right.
So it wouldn't surprise me that they would want to see that from you.
But I still agree, I still believe we need a second one up in the town hall. And if you're gonna, whenever you start doing it, like a pay period must start on a Thursday.
It starts on Thursday.
And so if you start it for this Thursday, it needs to be up in the town hall for Thursday. Otherwise, I feel, my opinion, it needs, whatever Thursday you start doing that, and it might be too rushed to start it this Thursday, but it needs to start the same day for the people that come and sign in at the town hall. It would either have to be in the hallway or the small conference room, so everybody has access to it.
Are you saying everybody should be accountable? I mean, everybody,
can't-
because we're,
I feel everybody should be accountable, but I know Malika has exempted herself from that. But everybody else has to punch in and punch out. Because they're gonna, if they're gonna be overtime exempt, I don't know if that's the right terminology, salary, but they're non-exempt, salary non-exempt. They can take their overtime off, in other words. They have to be clocked in and out to be able to prove they had overtime, to meet your auditor's requirements. Laura has to be clocked in and out. You can't require it of the guys if you're not gonna require it of everybody.
well, it should be everybody anyway. I mean,
I would, the last time I know that I went through an audit, which was last year, they wanted all of the employees' time cards, just like Malika said. So you want to be able, when they come back and they ask for them, Malika's going to probably need them so that she can easily give it to them in an audit.
And she's not, she's gonna have, if they ask for them this time, she's gonna say, we started that on such and such a date, they'll be here for the next audit.
Well, we want to cover our tracks, that's for sure. I mean, if they're going to be asking Malika for that information, she's got to be able to produce it. So, is that something we could just go ahead and start? We don't need a vote on it or nothing? Or?
And that would be something else you've got to put in the handbook too.
I'd like to look into that a little bit more. I've got some concerns about that. Typically, in terms of, like, we don't always start our day in the office. I come on duty, like I live in town, I come on duty from my driveway, and I drive around, or if I get a message from dispatch, overnight this happened. So I'm not sure. I think I would want to look into that a little bit more before I gave an opinion on having a time card.
She might accept a handwritten entry.
And
You're
I-
still getting,
We do.
There
We
may-
do. We
yes.
do have handwritten in the office, Laura, as well as them. They turn in a handwritten, just like Brandon, they turn in a handwritten one.
no, I mean, it would still be a time card.
Yes,
Correct.
yes,
It's not just a log. Randy turns in a log.
okay. He turns in a log, but they do punch in.
Yeah,
That's why I'm
they should have
saying I
some
need
kind
the
of-
time
some kind of
card
log.
from them.
Yeah, even if it's like a standard 8 to 4 or 8 to 5, whatever they work every day, something.
I mean, some mornings you gotta come in here first. I mean,
Absolutely.
But some mornings, if you start out from your house, it wouldn't be suspicious to see a handwritten entry.
Correct. I don't
Okay.
think punching is gonna work for police.
I don't know, that might.
I don't know
Once
any
in a
other
while.
police
It's something.
department that has that. When you go on duty, you call in with a radio, there's a radio log timestamp that you can go back and you can request. So say there was an issue with one of our part-time officers that said they worked XYZ, we could contact dispatch and we could get a copy of that log to see what time they came on and what time they went off versus that, to be able to back that up.
And if we have to go back to part-timers, they would definitely be starting when they get here, because they don't have the take-home vehicles, so they would need the time
Yeah.
clock. So, okay.
Okay, second on our list is, Joe brought in a, request form, and I called State Board of Accounts on the contract, because it was 2004. And according to State Board of Accounts, you only keep contracts for 10 years.
Could you find the record where it had been destroyed?
No. No.
Because there should be a record where it's been destroyed, if we don't have the contract.
But no, I didn't
Okay.
have record. Okay, and then now, we were in a meeting, and you guys said that I could not send out bills until you guys approved them. We're running into problems where bills are not being paid on time because you guys want it approved before I send it out.
But you told us, I'm sorry, you told us that that was okay.
No.
And you quoted something.
No, according to Joe said in a meeting that I'm not sending out any bills until they are approved. Randy and them just ran into a problem with Republics because we didn't have a meeting for 3 weeks. So I couldn't send out the payment until you guys approved it. It's not just Republics that I'm running into this problem with, because we are missing deadlines and we're past due on payments, because even though an ordinance, I believe there's an ordinance that says that I can send out bills to make sure that there's no past due, but you guys made a comment saying that I could not send out bills until you approved them.
We did?
There is an ordinance allowing the pre-approval, just so that you don't run into that situation where bills become delinquent. Yes.
That's fine.
I'm just trying to make sure everything is together. Next on the list, as well as with the marshal, we should have job descriptions of every job.
That will be worked on with the manual.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying, that we are supposed to have a job description for everybody that works for the town. And last on my list, I have retained a lawyer. And the fee for that lawyer, for his retention, is $500 a month. And I'm just trying to figure out where I should take that to pay him.
Well, after we see what's approved in the general fund clerk treasurer department, we'll let you know. Hopefully there will be some way to do it, because that's where it needs to come from as the first choice, and then we'll have to check for a second choice. Because we're a departmentalized budget.
Can we go back to the pre-approval of bills, just so that so it's clear? Are we going back and honoring now that ordinance that allows her to pre-approve, just so that it's very clear?
If there's gonna be a
Yeah,
late charge, yes.
To be
I just
delinquent.
meant,
I thought it was always paid, the bills that had to be paid, had to be paid. I don't remember ever
the
changing
bills
it.
that have to be paid have to be paid. If it doesn't have to be paid before the board meeting, it goes out immediately after the board meeting. So yes, especially when there's a third week with no board meeting, you would run into that. On the regular 2-week cycle, that she probably wouldn't run into that.
Okay, last thing, I just need to know, Randy, when do you need me to send out those payments for the grant? Because I still have payments that I have not sent out, and you told me to hold them
Yes.
until after the first of the year.
I will get with you and when the projects are completed. And hopefully by January 30th, they'll all be paid.
Okay, all right.
Can I go back there real quick? That's the ARPA, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So then all the money will be spent by the end of this year.
It was all
It was, the checks
encumbered
were
more
wrote
like
out.
the
It was-
checks
Okay.
were issued.
So under the federal guidelines, though, it has to be completely spent by December 31st of this year.
This year or last year?
This year, it has to be completely
Okay.
spent. It had to be obligated by last year, but completely
Okay.
spent by the end of this year.
I'm hoping by January 30th, they'll be completely spent. Contractor delays.
Can we
Okay.
go back to this request that she was talking about, where that 10 years comes in? What happens next then? I mean, we have to be able to have the contracts at the subdivisions.
Was
That
it
was
a
the time.
contract or was it a plat map?
Well, it had to be a contract of how the towns set forth how they're gonna go about doing these subdivisions. They're held responsible for the roads, they're held responsible for the plumbing.
The plat
electric-
map should be,
Recorded.
plat maps should never be destroyed. They should be on the non, there's things we cannot destroy. Minutes, bank statements,
Ordinance resolutions.
okay, plat maps. Sometimes federal grant information has its own clauses in it and you can't destroy them. So so you asked for a contract, you really need the plat map information. That should not be destroyed. If that was destroyed, that's a mistake.
But how we go about finding this one, though, that's the thing.
Well, has somebody gone through the basement files and looked?
No, I mean, we can, I mean,
Okay, that's what needs to happen.
There's a good chance it might have been recorded in the recorder's, or in the real estate office and the courthouse too.
Right,
recorder.
the recorder's office?
Yeah, or the real estate office, they may
Well,
have
that
it
guy,
as
the
well.
guy over from Stony Creek did come up with some kind of paperwork.
Yeah, it should,
Did he talk
they
to you?
should have recorded it in there.
Did he talk to you, Amber?
What was his
That
name?
Mike Gantz or whatever his name is?
He did call me last month, and I told him that someone had to do the due diligence and go back and get the plat maps to see if things were formally dedicated.
And the plat
So
maps
it
are
would
gonna
say it
be,
in the plat map.
they're gonna be under J. Beverly or Joseph Beverly or whatever business name they use.
Well, the guy told me the other day that was underneath whoever bought the property in the first place, then Beverly came in, but I don't remember.
Greg Williams,
Yes.
Walkerton. He might have a copy of something.
That was the guy's name, Greg Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Bought the property, then he sold it to Beverly's.
But I don't remember Greg
Said-
platting it.
Yeah, he just bought the
He
property,
just
right?
bought the property and sold the property.
That's what I thought. I thought Beverly came in and started the subdivision part. Because what we're finding out right now is that subdivision is getting filled in, and they went in there with one coat of road to go inside there.
And that's part of the thing that's on my
But they need to
text
come back and
message.
put that finish coat so that it's finished in there. And right now, the road's all busted up and it's been so long.
That's part of what I was gonna give you to read, Randy.
Okay.
Last thing, I'm adding this, but I called you last week to ask about lots for Melbourne Court. And because the recorder's office came and picked up the permits, and there is no lot numbers on those two.
I'll probably have to get with Parkman on that. Parkman should have the lot numbers on there or something, because he's the one that owned the property. We'll have to talk to Mark first and see what he comes up with.
No, Melbourne Court.
Court, the circle.
Okay, and at the last meeting, you brought up a part-time employee still working. So I think as a board, we need to make it really clear. I know that, he was filling in for people on vacation and such, and I, if we want to question Randy about why he's still here, that's one issue. But as another issue, I think we need to make it really clear that even though we have positions, quote, funded per our salary ordinance, that we do not intend on hiring another part-time person, a third person in the office, additional police officers until we see what the budget is approved, and all these, the council has to approve the amount of people that work in various departments, and then it's up to, we give Randy the authority, the state laws give Matt the authority and give Malika the authority, but they can't willy-nilly just hire more people. And I think we need to make that clear, because we don't want to show up now with, I think I need another person and I can just hire somebody, and then I'll tell the council later. We need to make it clear that we're happy with the amount of employees we have now, or we're not happy with the amount of employees we have right now, and we're going to ask you to look for another person. But we authorized how many people, and we authorized the pay amount. And I don't want a surprise employee that we don't know about. That's my opinion.
Well, that's the way it's always
So I
been.
don't think for your office that, as long as, I think you guys approved the set dollar figure for Malika's office, and then she figures out from there how many she needs.
No.
But for everyone else, I think that is accurate.
I looked it up to make sure it's the same as when I was there. The clerk, a treasurer, shall appoint those employees. Those employees serve at the clerk's pleasure, but subject to the authorization of the town council. So we have to authorize how many employees she can have, or the town marshal can have, and then they get to choose their employee.
I know you guys authorized the dollar figure, I just have to look at it a little bit more. I know it's the dollar figure, and usually then the clerk's office works from that dollar figure, obviously.
And
Yeah.
I looked up to make sure it hadn't
Okay.
changed since when I was clerk before I was gonna bring this up. So, I don't know if we need to take formal action on that, or, I mean, that's what it says in here.
Let me just double check
Okay.
for her office, but I agree that you guys definitely set the dollar figures.
Okay. We have some ordinances for consideration tonight. We have been advised that there was a mistake in the fund numbering, and that's going to be corrected, so the one fund that said non-reverting was really the park operating fund, and we can proceed with the third reading of ordinance 2025-015, establishing the non-reverting park donation fund. Correct? And is that correction made on our financial reports too?
He said he was coming out to do that.
Okay.
Craig did.
So we need, if we're going to proceed with the third reading, we need I just read the title of it, we need a motion on it?
So you just need a motion to approve the final reading.
Yeah, this is the third and final reading, ordinance 2025-015, establishing a non-reverting park donation fund.
Okay, I make a motion at 2020.
Dwayne motioned that we accept this ordinance.
Second.
Evelyn seconded it. Is there any further discussion? Any public discussion on this ordinance?
So the ordinance, so there's 0 in there right now, except for what the
It will be, well.
It's creating the fund,
it's
Crystal, that you and I.
I know.
This is 0 because the other's gonna become your operating fund.
Yes, I know, but so the original 19,000 you thought you found, that's not right, right? Okay.
Is the dollars wrong too, or just the name?
It's just the name. The dollars is right. It's the
So that
19.
wasn't
The
enough.
19 is
Is-
what's in there.
But it's
Okay.
not
Okay.
appropriated,
Yes,
so
no,
don't
I
get
get it.
excited.
It's- And so, but you said appropriated, so that,
It would be available for additional appropriations or next year's budget.
okay.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to accept this ordinance number 2025-015 on its third and final reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous. All right, we also have ordinance number 2026-001, establishing a budget billing program for the town-owned utilities. And the first reading needs to be in full, but is anybody ready to proceed with this ordinance yet before we read it in full?
Read it.
Read it, okay. Whereas the town of Kingsford Heights owns the municipal water and electric utilities for the town, collectively referred to herein as a town-owned utilities, whereas the town is not under the jurisdiction of a utility service board or the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, IURC, whereas pursuant to IC 8-1.5-3-3, IC 36-5-2-9, and under the Home Rule Law, IC 36-1-3-3. The Kingsford Heights Town Council, as the legislative body for the town, has the authority to authorize alternative payment arrangements, including budget billing plans, payment plans, deferred payment arrangements for said utilities. Whereas the town council finds that offering a voluntary budget billing program which allows customers to pay an equalized monthly amount based on historical usage will promote timely payment, improve affordability, and enhance fiscal stability for both customers and municipal utilities. And whereas the town desires to create a voluntary budget billing program for the town-owned utilities and prescribe the terms and conditions of said program and authorize the town clerk treasurer to implement said program when collecting payments. And whereas the town council, with the support and advice of the town clerk treasurer, has taken a critical look at the town-owned utilities and has determined that they can support the implementation of a budget program prescribed in this ordinance. And whereas the town council reasonably believes it to be in the best interest of the town and residents herein to now adopt a budget billing program for town-owned utilities to be implemented by the town clerk treasurer. Now therefore be it ordained by the town council of the town of Kingsford Heights as follows. Incorporation of whereas sections. The aforementioned whereas sections are incorporated herein as if fully set forth herein. Number 2, establishment of budget billing program. A budget billing program is hereby established for the town's municipal utilities. Participation in this program shall be voluntary and available to eligible customers consistent with the terms of this ordinance. Number 3, eligibility requirements. To participate in the program, a customer must A, be a customer of the town-owned utilities. B, have at least 12 months of billing history at the service address in their respective names. C, have no delinquent balance or disconnection order at the time of enrollment. And D, agree in writing to comply with all program terms. Number 4, calculation of budget billing amount. A, the budget billing amount shall be calculated utilizing the customer's average monthly usage cost over the most recent 12 billing cycles, including applicable taxes and fees. B, adjustments may be made for known rate charges, abnormal usage patterns, or other relevant factors, all of which must be approved in advance by the town council. C, the town clerk may conduct periodic reviews as necessary throughout the year to adjust the monthly amount based on the actual customer consumption. D, all of the aforementioned calculations shall be performed by or under the direction of the town clerk treasurer with any assistance from the utility superintendent. Number 5, annual reconciliation. Once per year, the town clerk treasurer shall perform an annual reconciliation of each participating customer's account. If the customer has overpaid, a credit will then be applied to future bills unless the customer requests a refund consistent with the terms of this ordinance and program. B, if the customer has underpaid, the deficit shall be billed to the customer in a lump sum or included in a revised monthly payment amount, subject to reasonable payment arrangements as approved by the town council. The town clerk treasurer shall present any and all payment arrangements to the town council in advance for approval. 6, program termination. A customer may terminate participation in the program at any time upon filing written notice of termination with the town clerk treasurer. The town clerk treasurer shall terminate the customer's participation in the program consistent with the policies and procedures of said program. The town clerk treasurer shall terminate a customer's participation in the program if 1, the customer fails to make timely payments and the customer's account becomes delinquent, or 2, if the customer no longer meets the eligibility requirements of the program. C, upon termination, a customer's account will be reconciled and any balance owed shall be immediately due and payable unless otherwise allowed through a payment arrangement approved by the town council. 7, administration. A, the town clerk, with the assistance from the utility superintendents, is responsible for administering the program consistent with this ordinance, including Number 1, enrollment and removal of customers. 2, calculations and adjustments of monthly amounts. 3, reconciliations and annual reconciliations. 4, maintenance of records. 5, development of forms and notices. 6, development of policies and procedures necessary for implementation of the program, which must also be approved in advance by the town council. B, the town clerk treasurer may not alter the eligibility rules of the program structure except as authorized by this ordinance. 8, no waiver of payment obligations. Nothing in this ordinance shall be construed to permit the forgiveness of utility charges, waiver of delinquency balances, or extension of credit beyond what is authorized by the town council or applicable law. 9, effective date. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its adoption and any required publications. That's the first reading of ordinance 2026-001, which was read in its entirety.
I make a motion that we establish the,
Evelyn has made a motion to adopt this ordinance on its first reading. Is there a second? Or is there questions?
It's helped out the people, so I'm a second.
Dwayne's going to second this ordinance. Is there any questions or further discussion before we call for the vote? From us. Okay, I have a question. This didn't address, if they're on the budget program, are they exempt from late charges, period?
There shouldn't be any late charges if they're on the budget program.
So their payments are all going to be due before the 15th or the 17th of the month? So what happens if they pay after the 17th?
Then they gonna get, well, first of all, then they run into the fact of being terminated.
Correct.
And they will have that explained to them.
Mm-hmm.
So any of these people have to pay by the 17th, and they can get no extension on that date. And what would happen if one of these people would also be an energy assistance recipient?
I don't think they would be, actually, they would want to get into this because energy assistants only pay a portion of their bill.
That's what I'm asking.
And so that's what I'm saying. I don't think that they would be, I think they would be exempt from this program.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't qualify, I wouldn't think.
I was like, are we gonna have is there a written qualification somewhere yet?
No,
Well,
it gives
just
you
says-
some options here for the clerk to start establishing that and bring that back to the board for approval.
Okay, so basically, this ordinance is only gonna give her permission to start working on
Start working on it.
specifics?
Yeah, it gives the general guidelines, but then Malika can do the specifics and bring it back to you to establish
So
as a
we can do the
policy.
first and second reading and not do the final reading until she has the specifics?
You could if you wanted. You could if you wanted.
How do you feel about that idea?
let's do it.
I don't know if I like the 12 months. You have to be in your house for 12 months. I thought we were gonna go a little bit longer, like at least, somebody had mentioned 5 years. I think that's a little too much.
Someone else
But
had
most of the
mentioned
time,
2
when you
years.
do 12 months, that's usually in most contracts. Like, even with our summer sewage rate, you have to be in your home for 12 months before you can get it.
No, you just have to be here the correct months to qualify.
No, you have to be there for a year for them to get an average so that you could get the summer sewage credit.
Did that ordinance change? It used to be, I'll tell you what it used to be, because I want you to look this up and make sure. It used to be, if you moved into your house so that you had a wintertime bill during December, dated December 1, January 1, February 1, and April 1, so you had a full bill for those 4 billing cycles, you qualified for summer sewage rates. You had to be here all winter to qualify for summer.
I'll look that up, but I
Okay.
don't think that.
So I guess we better table it till we get.
Well, no, we can go forward with the first and second reading at the next
So
meeting.
this is a pilot then, right?
Yes,
If
this
at any
is.
time it doesn't work out, we can,
Well, I mean,
Terminate the
see,
whole
the
thing. Terminate the whole
problem,
thing.
the problem that you're seeing is that it is a pilot program.
okay.
But with the 12 months, just like I said, most places you have to establish yourself before you can get a budget.
Yeah.
If you go with NIPSCO, you have to establish yourself for a year in that place and pay on time in order for you to get a budget.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second on the floor to adopt this ordinance on its first reading. Do we have any other further questions about it from the council?
No, I'm good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
I said aye.
Aye. You said aye? You said aye? You have 3 ayes and 1 nay, and I'll be a aye. With reservation, but I'll be a aye for now while we wait for a little bit more information. Get the ball moving. All right. Ordinance number 2502, amending the salary ordinance to modify the pay range for the position of deputy clerk treasurer. If you all remember right, we had it a nickel too low. So at the last meeting, we decided it needed to be bumped back up a little bit. And so we went a lot, so we don't have to change it for the next couple. Next time, this one will be fine. So it says, whereas on or about December 29th, the Town Council for the Town of Kingsford Heights enacted Ordinance 2025-15 entitled the 2006 Salary Ordinance for the Town of Employees, which established the salaries for the town employees for the 2026 calendar year, whereas Ordinance 2025 established the hourly pay range for the deputy clerk treasurer, assistant office manager, and bookkeeper at $12.36 to $19.80 per hour, whereas the town council finds the need exists to increase the high end of the pay scale for this position to $22 an hour, now therefore be it ordained by the town council of the town of Kingsford Heights as follows. The aforementioned whereases sections are set forth herein as fully incorporated herein. The pay range for the deputy clerk treasurer, assistant office manager, and bookkeeper is hereby amended to reflect a pay range of $12.36 to $22 in ordinance number 2025-15, the 2026 salary ordinance for town employees. The other provisions of ordinance 2025, the 2026 salary ordinance for town employees not in conflict herewith shall remain in full force and effect. This ordinance shall be deemed effective retroactive to January 1st, 2026. First reading, read in full. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the 2026-002.
I'll second it.
Is there any further discussion from the council? All in favor? Aye, that's unanimous.
I got a question for you.
Mhm.
Would this be 2026-2 or 2025?
Oh, I'm sorry, that would be 2026-002.
I think you had the wrong one, that's why I was just asking.
Oh, why, do you have the right one?
Yeah, I have the right one.
Okay, I'll just, You have spares of them?
Here, you can take that one.
Okay, you can have this one and, all right. Okay, so it was ordinance, what does yours say?
2026.
Yeah, dash
Okay.
002.
All right. This is going to be retroactive, so can we proceed with the second and third reading
Yeah,
tonight?
as long as it's unanimous.
Okay, it was unanimous. Title only, ordinance number 2026-002, amending the 2026 salary ordinance to modify the pay range for the position of deputy clerk treasurer. Second reading, title only.
I'll make a motion to accept ordinance number 2026-002, amending the 2026 salary ordinance to modify the pay range for the position of deputy clerk treasurer.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept this ordinance on its second reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we can go on with the third reading because it's been unanimous. Ordinance number 2026-002, amending the 2026 salary ordinance to modify the pay range for the position of deputy clerk treasurer, third reading, title only. Resolutions, none? Old business, Baker Tilly. Anybody got an opinion on this?
I think we should do it. Once we're out.
You think we should do it for a year or half a year? Or?
Because it should not go backwards. We should do a whole year.
I'd second the motion.
Was that a
Is
motion?
there a motion?
I'll make the
motion?
motion. I'll make the motion. Take a one-year contract with them.
Was that for a full year?
Full year.
Is there any further discussion from the council on that motion and second?
I'd like to see us go 6 months and see how we're doing there, because the rate's not gonna be any different if we do 6 months at a time.
No,
That's not true.
Oh, I thought he said it was 2,100 a month.
With a
regardless.
max of 95 hours,
Mhm.
max,
The only thing
so.
about that was
So it
the
would be
hours.
45 or 47 and a half hours, but the rate would still be the same, I think.
I
was.
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought he said the
I
rate
thought
was
he
the
See, I
same,
think he
but
said it was going hourly after that. Then you would be, if you didn't sign the 2,100, you would be going hourly.
Well,
He said- he said
you
to-
made a statement at the last council meeting that we have to supply you with an outside of accountant. And I did some research, and we don't have to. The only time any town council is required to supply an outside accountant is if the State Board of Accounts reports to us that we are unauditable, or that the clerk treasurer is not capable of doing the job. I know neither one of those is the case. I'm in favor of 6 months also. I'm also in favor of basically limiting him to the closeout of the 2025 year and maybe getting 2026, making sure it's set up correctly.
Then what are you gonna do about the budget?
Recontract with him for the budget. Teach you how to do the budget through the Clerks Association. What did I put?
But he also said that she still needs training on that one system that she's not accustomed to also. So she still has to be trained on that.
What one system? What one system? Do you have a new computer system that he said?
No, we're getting ready to go to the cloud base.
Well, that training's gonna come from Keystone. That's not gonna come from Baker Tilly.
Yeah, no. But she still has to be trained on Keystone because that's where her problem is. She's not quite up to doing that yet.
I'm just stating my opinion, I'm
So I'm
sorry.
stating mine
I know.
also.
I'm in favor for the 6 months myself too, so, I mean, if it's gonna go to, if you're gonna ask for votes or whatever, mine's a nay. I mean, I don't,
I kinda
I'll go
think
for
we're at a
6 months.
standstill.
It's gonna cost more.
Hmm?
It's gonna cost more. That's what you guys don't understand. They're gonna charge you $300 an hour.
after so many hours, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get
We get
45,
four-
47
half of
hours.
no-
Okay, you guys are making up a contract. They didn't make up a contract for 6 months.
No.
They made a contract for a year,
But-
which is $2,100 a month. It's not for a year.
As-
So if they go for 6 months, they're gonna push it back to the $2,500.
No, he told us 21.
He
Yeah.
told us it
He
would
told
be
you-
this, verbally, he said at the last meeting it would be the same, but the hours would be cut in half. Which
Yeah.
makes sense, because it's for 6 months instead of the year. But would you confirm that with him, please?
Well, certainly.
And let us know, please. Not waiting 2 weeks. Okay, just for the record, we had a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor of the one-year contract signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're actually nays.
Yeah, or nays.
Nays. Yeah.
Okay. We are, please make sure that says we're opposed to the one-year contract, not opposed totally. We want to look into the option of a 6-month contract. Thank you. New business contract with Access LaPorte County. I don't know if everybody,
Andrew's here.
okay.
Good evening, Board. I know that I sent a document to Amber and Madam President.
And I sent it on so Malika could make copies for everyone.
Okay, and basically I'm here if you guys have any questions. I know that we came on in July of last year, so basically when we started the agreement, you guys were covering 1 year's worth of meetings.
Got a spare for everyone.
One difference between
Should be on the back.
our other smaller municipal partners, Long Beach, Trail Creek, and Michiana Shores, all do 1 meeting per month. You guys have 2 meetings per month, which obviously we are more than okay with doing that, but we do have to make sure that there's a little bit of a cost difference between the two of you. And I think that the $3,000 that we have proposed is definitely beneficial to all parties. But just to let you guys know, the YouTube channel, your meetings have been viewed 2,200 times over the last 6 months. So it's kind of achieved the purpose of
the goals of the law that was instituted in July of last year. So your proceedings are getting out there and allowing the constituents to be able to view those from home.
Yes.
But if you have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer them.
We hear a lot of good things about the meetings that are broadcast on YouTube.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys as taking care of Tyler over here, who is kind of the
Oh, now we know his name.
official Kingsford Heights correspondent. But I am hoping that you guys share my sentiments that it's been a very good relationship thus far, and would love to take it into the next year.
Financially, do you prefer the semi-annual payment or just paying the whole thing?
It really doesn't matter.
Okay,
For us, whichever is most convenient for you guys, obviously according to that, but if you wanted to break it up into 2 payments, that would be absolutely no problem on our end.
I'll make a motion that we accept Alcoa's contract for the 1 year till December, from January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026, for the amount of either $3,000 up front or $1,500 in 2 payments, a piece, 2 payments.
do we have a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the contract from Alco for their services in the year 2026. And we'll defer to Malika for how to make the payment. All in favor?
Right.
Board, thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brainstorm. Do we want to go into this or let us review it and bring it back up at the next meeting?
Whatever you guys prefer. Did you guys get the
Does he
email I
got-
forwarded you from Mark?
Does he got a little bit of knowledge on these prices?
What is Bray's doing?
It's a IT company that manages like emails and information security.
Matt, you know a little bit more about these prices on this sheet?
I got the same email as you guys did. I was not given any extra information.
Do you know which ones are monthly and which ones are a one-time price?
There's not enough information. Sorry, there's not enough information.
I'm assuming quote 1749 is the yearly, right?
Well, I
It
think,
talks about the license.
I think 1749 is yearly except for on page 3, the one item at the top is monthly, but I think everything else is probably yearly. That's how I read it. And then on the other one, I think it's a one-time fee for equipment.
I only see 1749. I see
think it's on the other sheet.
7460.
So on the top of
Oh, that, okay.
the
yeah,
second
okay.
page,
Okay,
there's
you're
a
talking
section that
quotes.
says quoted price is based on the number of workstations and servers. Additional workstations and servers can be added to coverage term at additional cost. The initial term is for 1 year. So I take that everything listed in there is,
Which quote are you looking at?
I'm looking at quote number 1749.
Okay,
The second page in the middle, right before the breakdown of the
Okay.
licensing and stuff, that's where I'm reading that.
all right. So by looking at that, are you agreeing that on the third page, that's the only monthly charge?
Yeah, per user.
$22 per month per user? Or
That-
or $26.40 if we pay it monthly?
Correct.
Every-
That's my understanding of the quote, yes.
And everything else is annual?
To the best of my understanding, yes.
Okay, and then this is for the equipment in the dock station in your room?
Yes, the second quote, I believe that's
Which is-
1750.
Yep,
That would be for the proposal on his sheet reference upgraded equipment.
okay. We need an analysis of what expenditures you think are coming out of lit in 2026, so if we have anything more available in lit.
Would this be lit or general fund? Because
It could be lit.
Mhm.
It could be, CCIF, or it could be general fund. It's got 3 choices.
Okay.
But I don't know what we have I don't know what we asked for in any of those funds. I don't know how much for sure the car payments are, so,
I believe when we looked at that, based on the car payments with no extra expenditures out of lit, we would end up being over this year on lit.
we would be overspent, you mean?
Based on the budget numbers that I've seen, but again, that's
Okay.
not been the approved budget that
Right.
we've got back.
Well, they're not gonna approve more than we asked
Right.
for, so, all right.
And then I know there was also an issue with salary with being over in a couple of spots, so.
But we don't have anybody in a third or part-time position, so I know where we can get that.
Correct.
Are you gonna have appropriation transfers for us by the end of January too, in 2025 budget?
I'm going to try.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Your turn, Amber, attorney's
okay.
report.
Let me just make sure. I think you just touched on it a little bit. One of my things is the encumbrance resolutions. Like, once you get that together, if you want to pop it over and get any thoughts beforehand, I'm happy to look over that before it goes to the council. The other thing I think we talked about before is the second meeting of the month, if you still wanted to have department head reports. Because historically, you didn't have department head reports, but obviously, it's up to the council, so I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Well,
It's up to you guys.
we could have the department heads tell Malika if they had something that they needed to be, and Malika could note it under old business, and then we could take it off as departmental reports. Does everybody like that idea?
Mhm. Yeah, because they're only asked to come in once a month, aren't they?
Yeah, so, yeah, the departmental ones and like the park board and stuff like that, and even Amber, so that this is the only place she does her report. Nobody else that she is lawyer for, she doesn't do a lawyer's report.
But she's,
Attorneys.
it's very easy for her to say no report, and that's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's
I know.
over and
Yeah,
done.
I mean, obviously,
I
if there's
know.
stuff that needs, I communicate it to you guys, but,
Okay,
yeah, it's your agenda, so just bringing that to your attention, because I know you've talked about it before.
well, I know Randy said he only comes to one meeting a month
Yeah.
anyway, so.
Should be really short.
But
So
they,
if you want the standing rule to be department heads at the first meeting and second meeting optional, if they have something they want to put on, you could always do
They
it
could just
that
let
way.
Malika know. And
right, sounds good. Sound good to you, Randy?
Yep.
Okay. The other thing I know that I heard our town marshal talking about going through our ordinances, and there are services out there that help municipalities codify all their ordinances online. I know one of them is MuniCode, another one's Amjur. Obviously, there's an expense with that, but you'd have them all available online in one central location. So
Might be worth
something
it.
to think about.
They actually tried to do that once upon a
Okay.
time, and I don't know if they weren't sent everything or what, but so much got deleted, they never adopted the codified book.
Okay,
So,
just food for
but
thought,
I mean, they would
because
have to
it's really nice.
take more care of what was sent to the company.
Yes, so anytime something would be adopted, it could be sent to the company, they would update it. Usually they do it on, I don't know, a quarterly basis or as needed, but what's also nice is usually online you'll have access to the actual ordinance. So there's usually those clicks that you can access it, so food for thought, might be something the town wants to look at. Just one more thing is, and I was talking to Andrew about that today, I know that we our Wi-Fi is not the best in the building, that's why we're not live streaming. But we're making the meetings available via recordings. Another part of that law that was passed last year is that we also need to make our agenda minutes and memoranda from the meeting available as well online. So I just took a look at your website today. I'm not sure who's responsible for updating that, but it's something you want to start thinking about, is we need to start making those accessible too, and how and who and what we need to accomplish that.
And that is supposed to be done before we actually approve them and print and put
No,
up as a draft?
no, it's after.
Okay, so you don't put it up as a draft?
No, you can though. You can put an agenda up. Some do, but it's definitely asked for afterwards by virtue of the statute.
And wouldn't that come out of the clerk's office?
It very well could. Many times it does. But like I said, I don't know what the
I
skill
don't think
set
anybody's
is
actually
for
running the website right
for
now.
the website. I know it's a very technical thing, running a website. I know I couldn't do it, so
Well, we could hire somebody, then, correct?
yes, so I just want you to keep that in mind. Yes, you absolutely could
Oh,
hire
shoot.
someone and have that obligation.
Make a new page of this, I signed on your line, or just draw the arrow.
Draw a line. Which one is that for?
The second meeting.
So we just have to make sure that the minutes from like this meeting are.
The agenda and the minutes and whatever memoranda goes along with those agendas. So
Like
like,
all
for
these things?
example, yes. Mhm.
Okay. So that one has to be
So,
something.
the ordinances, the resolutions, the contracts, it's gonna take some work until someone gets in a groove with it. But I'm not sure who even created your website, who's responsible for
Yeah, I have no
updating it.
idea.
We had somebody that created it, a company that created it. but then I
Brian
don't think we-
Nurnberg might know who.
Well, we're still
did it?
paying
I
them
mean,
too.
we might be able to
We're
get it.
paying, I think we're paying a company and it looks like that, and so.
Yeah, I perused it this afternoon before
It's
coming
horrible.
in, and it needs some updating.
Yeah, and I think it's like $150 a month.
It needs
Yeah,
updating,
it's-
and if you
it's
can
been
get your
working.
minutes and your
Company
agenda
every time?
on there and make it all available, it'll make it
Simple
easier
Biz.
for everyone.
We might be able to call
Student
Simple Biz and
media
find out
is
who did
one
it.
that most places have used in town.
Yeah, if we're paying them $150 a month, they need to do a better job of keeping
But
that.
they were just, that's just them
They can only
hosting
keep
the
it up
site.
if we send them the
That's not
information.
them,
Okay.
Doing all the work.
no.
Okay.
So they host the site, that's your hosting charge, to keep all the information.
Not the
And
actual.
you'll have to
Okay.
pay that anywhere, but you might as well pay someone that's gonna host and take care of this information.
Today's the 9th?
12.
12th. My, how time flies.
It will be pricey.
And that's all I have.
Okay. Is there any public comment this evening? Yes, Kristen.
I did wanna know about the Wi-Fi in here. We unplugged it, we plugged it back in, is it just in here? Are the cameras working other places in town? Are you able to access the cameras? Like, should there be a problem outside our building?
There's problems with all the cameras, I think.
Yeah, well, we should still have Wi-Fi down here.
So that's what I mean,
We're
is
paying
it,
for
so are we
Wi-Fi.
paying?
Internet's not
I think that's a
Why
monthly
is the
charge
internet
as well,
working?
so
Yeah.
I'm concerned about.
The wire, Randy told me the wire never got buried, so it's hard telling what's happened to it, standing on, or putting it on top of the ground like that.
So,
I heard somebody hit it, or wasn't that what
The
happened, Randy?
Wi-Fi? I don't know.
The cable outside or something?
The internet went down after the snowstorm, and we were believed it was from the plows pushing snow up, but once the snow melted, the wire's still intact and the plows never got near it, so I have no
okay.
idea why the internet is down.
I got a question for you, Randy.
So we need to fix that.
Some of my constituents in my neighborhood, I don't know who did the plowing, but Chet Roberts, his yard is totally demolished. And is the town gonna fix it or what?
I'll have to
Because
go by there and look.
the same way by our church. There was no leaves or nothing there, but they plowed up that whole area there
Right.
by the curb.
He's gonna need Chet's address.
I don't know what his address, he lived next door to me.
Okay.
the other thing is that behind my mother's house, there's some wires that are there. They were there when SurfNet came in, I guess, or the Comcast came in, and so they've been waiting for them. Like when she has to mow her yard, she tosses it into the neighbor's yard. Now the neighbor needs to mow their yard, they put it in her yard. And she doesn't even know like whose wires they are, or.
Okay, the guys can take a peek and identify whose wires they are, and that will tell you what company has to be notified.
And so, okay, I mean, can they take care of that as well, though? Like,
No, we
or
do
you
not
want?
work on
We can't touch
No, I
anybody.
mean, tell who's, and then notify the clerk, she can give them a call, like.
No,
like, you're just-
You guys have to. It's
but
on
to
your,
call.
whatever company they tell you the wires belong
Okay,
to. Sorry,
no,
but
that's
that's
okay.
just it. Yes?
Is it possible, going back to the budget, is it possible for the council to have a workshop with the clerk prior to coming back and reading the third reading of that? That way you all are not having an open discussion about what you may agree with, disagree with, or suggestions, that you all could maybe have a workshop on that so that all minds are heard.
Before the next budget, you mean?
Yeah,
Well, we did have a workshop.
on the budget. I'm not talking about the budget, I'm talking about what she proposed. That ordinance for
The utility budget?
the utility budget.
The budget plan,
Yes,
the budget payment plan,
yes.
can we do that in executive session?
No, you can't do it, but you could hold a workshop.
We could hold a workshop.
Yeah, that's what. And then I would also be just cautious when we talk about the cameras
Right.
and the internet service. That's a safety and security issue, and there are certain things that we shouldn't discuss here in this platform that is going to be posted for the world to know that we may or may not have cameras that are operable.
Any other public comment? Yes, Randy?
Just to clarify, am I installing a time card at the clerk's office, or what did you guys decide on?
He is, isn't it?
That was, so he is.
Yeah. That's what you assume too, right?
What's that?
A time clock in the town hall offices?
Yeah.
Was there a vote on that?
No, there was not a vote. We were trying to comply with what Malika wanted for
What
the
she
State
wanted,
Board of
so.
Accounts. Okay.
I do have a comment. I was recently, last Friday, when I worked my other job, I do not know Jeannie Reed. I've never met the woman, nothing. And when I went to take care of her at the place I work, she said, "Do you know me?" And I said, "No, I have no idea. I've never seen her before in my life. I've heard her name, but never."
She's got a lot of property out here.
Yeah, and I knew she had property out here, but she informed me that she was very upset with the last meeting and how we talked about her.
Her name.
Yes, we said her name, we talked about her, and she asked me what was meant by everything that was said about her, and that she did not appreciate us talking ill-willed about her, I guess, or bad about her, and that she had a problem with that.
Okay, we'll,
I'm just letting you know, and that she was asking about her. I said, well, I know we discussed you getting some of your money back from one of your rentals. And she said that one of the rentals was one that the property, and she did give me the address because I had to work, so I was trying to listen and then get back to work. But she said one of them, she still has not received the money back from that, and it's been sold. So I don't know.
She has not been in office.
Okay, I'm just,
she
yeah.
is not what?
She has not been.
She said she gave you numerous letters. I don't know.
She gave me letters, and we also had a discussion on whether she was supposed to pay the $291, or then we had the $100 that they were saying that landlords paid, and we never actually came back to that. We never
So-
came to a conclusion.
Okay.
Did she tell you though, that one house
No, she
Has
has not
it
been
been
back in
sold?
office. She has not been in the office.
Amen.
So she's talking to you, but she has not called
Yeah,
us.
well, and that's what she said that she's reached out. I'm just, and don't get mad at me, okay? Please don't. But I'm just telling you what she told me, that she has sent you letters asking for her money back on said house that's been sold, and it was sold 3 or 4 years ago or something, and she's never received that money back. So I don't
I thought we
know.
decided to go ahead and give the $290 back
Not the 291, just the 250.
250, yeah.
That's all.
We decided to give that
But
back.
then if she has, and then I thought and I don't know, I could be wrong, but I thought we discussed if that person moves out, then she has to put that 291 down again.
But not for that house, because she doesn't own it.
No, but I'm saying any house she
Yeah,
rents,
yeah, that's what we did.
that,
She
and
had to
that's
come
what
back.
but I don't remember us finishing the whole conversation.
Because we
So
never
your house-
did,
Yeah,
because
okay.
we had the issue of that if a landlord puts down the money, they rent out the house. If I give them the money back, when they come back, usually the landlord says, put the house back in my name. If they don't have any money down on the house for the utilities, how do I put it back in their name? So that's where we left it at. We never did finish that discussion.
I wasn't sure if we did or not, so because that's what I thought we were kind of going with was.
You had to start all over again, wasn't it?
Yeah, she'd have to
we
put the
talked
money
about
back
it.
down again to hold it in her name, and then if she rented it again, that person would do it, and then she would get that said money back, correct?
But see, that's the problem, that she has brought in code saying that she didn't have to pay it. That's why I was asking you guys, because she was the one that came in and asked about it.
Okay.
She hasn't been in the office in the last, I'd say 3 or 4 months. I haven't seen her.
So the issue is when the property's vacant and not being rented, if she wants the utilities, then she has to come in and put it in her name.
With a
But-
deposit.
Yeah.
I understand what you guys are saying, but what we were discussing, that never came
We
to
didn't finish.
fruition. We never finished the conversation.
Okay.
Because I have no problem in making her pay another fee, but according, Rosalie had said before that it was a landlord $100 fee. And I don't see anything on the books for that. So that's why I'm asking, we never did finish the conversation.
So it's just
We
history.
just talked about that one time, we never did.
It's history.
We
I
probably
remember
do need to-
talking, but I don't remember completing the whole
probably do
conversation.
need to
Like
make
Malika
something
said,
up
it
with
was
that.
never
Yeah, we
finished.
talked about putting some of the old accepted verbal policies in writing, and we never got that far.
Yeah, well, I just know that she was very
If she watches
upset.
the movie, she'll probably be back in the office, you know?
Well, and I told her, I said, come to a meeting and voice your opinion here. And then, I mean, you can't just pass around a letter and hope it's gonna get to the right person. So that was all I,
Thank you.
Okay, are we done? Is that it?
Marshall?
Yes?
Would it be okay if I asked some clarifying questions?
Sure.
So when Randy was talking about who has to sign his time cards and applying that across the board, who has to sign my time card? Because it's my understanding that I don't have a liaison on the council.
How about Randy?
Would it be easier if he signed mine and I signed his?
It would be wonderful. Is that okay with you?
That's what happened with me.
there you
Okay.
go.
Also with that, for the sake of redoing the handbook, I was a little confused when walking away how you wanted the marshal's position, whether you wanted it salary exempt or salary non-exempt. The same with the chief deputy marshal. And then while I'm working on the handbook, it would make sense to go ahead and address deputy marshal in the future if we do add a third spot, so that I could get clarification on how you would like them listed in there.
I'm going to defer and say you need to check out the current IRS definitions under the Fair Labor Standards Act,
Okay.
because I don't know what the current definitions are.
Okay.
You may also want to check with other departments on how they do it, some of the smaller ones.
Okay. Currently, in speaking with Malika, when I took over, I was told that the police department balance of benefit time, whether it be time off, vacation, comp, is not tracked by the clerk treasurer's office. Do we now want all of that to be tracked by the clerk treasurer's office?
Check with the State Board of Accounts.
You're gonna want some paper trail.
I mean, for
It
sure,
should- it
for
should be-
sure, she's going to track vacation time.
Okay.
But it should be with your time card though.
Well, usually, I know what Jeff did. Jeff didn't, because when I came in, there was no sheet saying what I was supposed to do. So Jeff kept record of their time. because they were a separate entity. The only thing that I did for them was do the payroll and pay them, but he kept their time.
So is that what you want me to continue to do?
I think so.
Okay. I have had conversations with the clerk and with Joe about this. I was a little confused. So the last meeting, I believe it was voted on whether or not employees got a 3% raise. But in speaking with Malika, she wasn't sure if that specifically applied to Anna and my position. Is that 3% raise for everybody, not for us? Because we didn't receive it on our last paycheck.
No, it was for everybody, wasn't it? It was for
I
the
thought they
police
got,
department.
Hourly.
it was the hourly.
Yeah, it's the hour.
They got salary increases. That's how I took it.
I thought there was
'Cause
3%
otherwise
across the board.
Then we have to redo more of the salary ordinance. We set a new salary for the town marshal and for the chief deputy marshal. And the salary, the hourly people got 3% raises. And Laura's last few pennies are gonna be retroactive.
I don't know,
That's what I thought we did.
well, I thought when we passed the ordinance for the employees, the first one for all the employees and everything, it was actually part of it.
Right, but they were salary. They
Yeah, but
they
then
had
they-
a salary number.
It seemed like they should have got the 3% like everybody else though.
And then
And then we kind of talked about it even in my,
You don't have the salary ordinance, was it built into the salary?
No.
we kind of talked about it in my employment interview with waiting until a salary ordinance could be passed to move from the 61 to the 65.5, and that would be retroactive. And speaking with Joe, we talked about that the other day, and he thought he understood the same way. And in fact, we spoke with Amber the one evening about actually a date as to when that would take effect. Also, when we talked, I thought that 3% was going to be in addition to make me whole for what I would have got if I stayed at Westville this year. That was the whole point in going to the
And I remember all those
65.5.
conversations, but I'm only going by what the ordinance ended up saying.
Right. So I guess I didn't know, I was under one impression, I guess I don't know what the final ruling on that is.
Can we take care of that and then retro back?
Amber's nodding yes.
Yes, but if it's not already built into that salary ordinance, we're gonna have to build it in as well.
Right.
So I'll need
And
those
more budget transfers.
numbers, yes.
Amber, did you remember having that conversation with him about because Jeff was getting 61 or something?
Yeah, and we put them at 61, and then after the first of the year, we went to 60.
There was some discussion on it,
65.5.
yeah. Uh-huh.
But I don't remember about the 3%. I
it
don't.
wasn't discussed.
That was not talked.
I don't think it was discussed
It
either.
wasn't.
So we gave you the 61 from at the end of the year to the
No, the
beginning of the year?
61 was to, until they could pass a salary ordinance to bring it up to 65.5, which wasn't dependent on the beginning of the year. And then at the beginning of the year, at that time, it was a 2 whatever it was
It was-
increase for
At that
COLA.
point, we thought it was 2.5.
And that was gonna be starting at the beginning of the year. And my point behind that was I was willing to take a little bit of a cut now, but I didn't wanna go behind once the first of the year rolled around with what I was making at Westville minus.
And that was for him, that wasn't necessarily for Anna. Anna just got a raise in her salary.
Correct. She got an additional raise from.
Yeah, she did.
I do kind of remember that discussion.
Mhm.
So what should the town marshal be set at then? So it's the 65.5 with the 3%?
That was my understanding of it is that by the beginning of the year, whenever that first salary ordinance went through, I'd be at 65.5, and then going forth from the beginning of the year, it would be at 3%. Or at that time, it was a 2 whatever it was supposed to
I'm sorry,
be.
say that again. So should it have been 65.5 back in December?
It should have been 65.5 as of November 13th, was I thought what we agreed upon, which was the official last day of Jeff.
Yeah, so I'd put him at 67,465. If we added the 3%.
Sorry, what was that again?
Oh, sorry.
67, you said?
Yeah. I don't know, let me see. 67,465.
So the ordinance needs to go back from last year, from 11/13 to December 31st to 25 for that retro. Is, okay. And then it needs to also be amended for this year's salary ordinance.
And then, of course, it's all gonna come out of 26 budget. Well, I don't know. If there's anything
Is there, I
left
was
in
just gonna say,
25,
was
it
there
could be.
anything encumbered?
In doing the math on Anna's raise and with her assuming that she would get that 3%, that's what your intent was, and the same with me to take me to the 67,000. It leaves approximately, I can tell you, if I did the math right, it would leave an additional $46,705 in deputy marshal salary from the original
26, the town
116,000.
marshal and the assistant town marshal. Okay.
Yep, that would cover both of those increases and still leave a remaining amount of,
Well, did Anna get a 3% or 2.5% in her number?
she's saying she did not on her last paycheck, which would have been the first one of this year, there was no 3% given.
We just took her to Jeff's pay.
Yeah, but was that a 3% over her previous pay?
That's more than the 3%.
Way more. She was getting what, 58?
I'm not sure what her previous pay, I know that you guys bumped her to the 61,000, but with that 3%, it would take her from 61,000 to 62,800.
Well, but if she was getting 58.8, she got more than a 3% raise.
Absolutely.
Okay,
So there only no 3%.
so she's fine.
So you're good with her at the 61,000?
We just need to get you
We
squared
need to
away.
get you squared away.
Okay. For the sake of keeping accurate records, before we can get some of the other things defined as to what you guys want, right now in the handbook, it does not have anything for compensation time for the police department or holidays. What we've been doing is if we work a holiday, we get that amount of time off to use as a floating holiday at a later date. Do you want me to continue to track that since I'll be doing it, or do you want to have it planned that day, if we work a holiday, it's the double time? And staying consistent with what the other departments are getting. I'm good with
I
either
would
way.
like you to take a day off later.
Take a day off, later, okay. And then,
As a floater.
and then within that, the comp time, are we keeping track of that, anything over the 40 at hour for hour, or is it 1.5?
It has to be
It
1.5.
has to be 1.5, okay. Just making sure going forward that I'm trying to keep that accurately. Thank you.
But you don't get to multiply it again by 1.5 when you take it off.
Okay, I'm clear on that. You confused me for a second. Thank you.
Okay, is there any further business from anybody? Okay, I have one thing. You questioned me last time. I looked it up because I thought I was right, and I was. There are 3 situations where it is acceptable for a board meeting to adjourn without a motion or a second. And this is the reason why I did it, and I can still do it. The agenda has been completed in its totality. Meeting adjourned. 7:50.
I second.